Welcome and avast ye, as we set sail for Annapolis. Come back here. We're gonna eat you later. Yes, we are.
We're going to Annapolis.
Woo! This guy's excited. Won't be excited for long. We're gonna eat him. Are you ready for some fun?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Now we're gonna assemble our black-eyed Susans. And the way this is done, if you're gonna go to the Preakness, if you're gonna be in the inner tracks, you can see why this is a cheap drink for the masses, because you would do kind of rot gut bourbon, you would do bad vodka, and then you'd mix that with like your super cheap off-the-shelf sweet and sour sauce, or sweet and sour mix with ice.
That kind of makes sense.
And the ingredients would cost you $1.50, and you would sell it for 12.
$1.50.
Yeah. So we're not going to do that. We're going to go a little nut. Well, you can tell it's Kirkland brand, so you know it's
super classy.
So it's super classy.
It's Costco classy.
Yeah, we're trying to do as classy as we can with this. So the first step is, this is still a little warm, but we brought it out of the fridge. So our simple syrup with our lime and lemon to make a nice sweet and sour mix. So what we're going to do is 2 parts of that. Actually, let's do our booze first. So I'll do 2 ounces for each of us. So we'll do 4-ounce pour in there.
Oh.
And so shaker with ice is in there.
What is this ounce?
And that is a sugar. So right at the line right there is 2 ounces.
It says 1.5.
Well, at that line. So if you go to the top.
Oh.
Yeah, so 1 for you, 1 for me in here.
Whoops.
All right, a little to the angels. That's fine too.
2.
Okay, and then you're gonna do vodka. You're supposed to do equal parts, but vodka having no flavor, I'd flip this around. Wait. Well, actually, you could do 1 of these. So just 1. It would do.
This is cold.
Yeah, just 1 of these. So it's nice and cold.
It's cold on my fingers here
Yeah.
too. Look at it, instant freezing.
Yep. Now we're gonna do 2 of the 2-ounce pours of orange juice and 2 of the 2-ounce pours of the sweet and sour. But just make sure you can get as much of that into the glass as you can. So I would do a 2-ounce pour of that, then this, and see how much we can fit of each. 2-ounce pour of sweet and sour mix. It's gonna be close. I'm gonna fill it up.
Try and shake that.
And then I would just pour the orange juice to fill the top, like, because you only did 1 pour of orange juice, right?
No, I did 2.
Oh, did 2? Okay, perfect. Then that was perfect. Good job.
It is very full.
Right up to the brim.
I don't know if you can see that,
Yeah.
but it's full.
So, cap and shake. Yeah.
A new dress.
You gotta keep it classy. So you don't want to do like, you want to do a nice side to side. Well, you can do it. I mean, as long as you're not shaking your body around. And what you want to do is hold it with 1 hand until it burns so bad from the cold that you have to stop. It's really starting to hurt now. Da-na-na. And now I can't do it anymore. All right. And instead of generally straining out the ice, we're going to keep the ice in this. Keep it nice and chilled because we're out watching horse races. Putting some down the side there. This will Topping them with a little wine. All right, and maybe a touch more vodka or bourbon, depending on how we're feeling.
Michael.
We got our nice
Oh yeah.
Anchor
little
stirs.
I forget what I got these for you for, but.
I think your brother got them for me. I like when you take credit though.
Oh.
Thanks, Pop.
My family gets him everything.
I know.
I swear I get Michael gifts too.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh, that's good.
Ahoy, ahoy.
Ahoy, ahoy. Oh man. Mm.
All right. And the only reason we're
Real
drinking
nice.
this is not for the bourbon. It's not for the vodka. It's for all the citrus juice to prevent scurvy. It's not health. Really.
Sellers, take note.
No scurvy in this class.
Mm.
All right.
That's really good.
Yeah.
This is really good.
Yep.
Okay, but Michael, how is this a black-eyed Susan? There's no black.
Yeah.
Like
So
this is like an orange. This is like a sunrise or a fancy. Oh.
glad you asked. As if I had this ready. So it's because the black-eyed Susan is a flower with like kind of black in the middle and then a yellow fringe.
Mm.
It's you garnish it with a cherry,
Maraschino.
maraschino cherry. If you want to go super bougie, you can do Luxardo brand because it sounds close to luxurious. So you will be convinced to pay like $15 for a jar of cherries. They're actually really, really good, and it's
They're-
what like a bougie bar would
They're
have.
good.
So since we're trying to do this fancy pants,
So fancy.
Oh, you think you fancy?
you gotta spear one of these guys. So one for you.
Black eye, please.
Let's see if I can spear myself one. They're squirrely devils. Hard to harpoon. And that goes in there. And now, yeah.
Okay.
So do you want to reminisce about Annapolis?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. So a bunch of stuff we did. You got to see the Naval Academy grounds. We went on there, toured a little bit.
Yeah.
We do want to go back someday, and that's a video tour we want to do later of just the Academy grounds, all the history that's there. It'd be pretty fun to do. It's a really quaint for like a state capital. It's number one, very old school, small cobblestone streets. Everything's tight, fun kind of bars. I just like that.
It's very old town, small town, walkable, quintessential America.
Yeah. One of the great things I love about the East Coast is the colonial towns where it's all walkable. So we got a Airbnb that was right downtown, right away, 200 yards from.
If you have a good arm, you could throw the stone to the nearest bar or breakfast place.
Yeah, a breakfast place. McGarvey's, a couple of, there's great downtown bars right there in the inner city or the inner bay of Annapolis. And we were right off Pinckney Street on an Airbnb that was a great price, had a couple bedrooms, we all just smashed in there. And we went and did an escape room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Escape numero dos.
Yeah, we successfully passed both of them. And then we went and did a food tour around there where it was really informative. And they drove you around in electric golf carts.
Yeah.
And they took you to all the interesting little food places that I never knew about even going to school there. So some of it was like oyster stuff, crabbing, and historical venues that kind of founding fathers ate at. So we did the food. We did a day pretty much full of food, separated by shotguns, I believe. So we did a food.
Wait. Did we do the shotguns in the same day?
Yeah.
We did?
Yeah.
Look at us.
We did a crazy
We
full
get
day.
after it.
So we did a food tour morning, and then afternoon we went out to. Now it's a 45-minute drive outside the city, but you got to cross the bridges. but the point at Pintail is a skeet shoot, like trap range.
Yeah.
It was quite literally a blast. Gauge your reaction. Pump me up. We can do this all day. I'm shell shocked.
Michael. Yeah. Oh my. Okay. Yes, it was really cool.
What I like about the place too is, no, clearly you don't have to bring a gun. We're not traveling across state lines with weapons on airplanes on standby that would never work. So they'll rent you a shotgun there, and it will go to your specifications. If you're a 20 gauge person, if you're a 12 gauge, they'll get you what you like, rent it out clearly for a price, and then you'll go to different stations and shoot there. And it's almost like a back nine of golf. And so you go to different stations, you shoot, you never know.
It's like golfing.
Yeah,
It
you
is
never
like
know where the
golfing.
clays are going to go. As like the five of us are always competitive anyway, so once you start launching clays out of stuff, you're gonna be encouraging at first, but then it's gonna become a count of like, I did better than you. And you're going to like 9 different stations trying to blast stuff, and you don't know where they're coming from and what program they have set up, so you gotta blast and then change out shells and stuff. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Who was the winner of it?
You and Sarah did really good.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to set that up.
Nice.
Okay. Well, that's a good start.
Well,
Nice. Nice.
Cool.
and pull. Oh no.
All right.
Got that one.
He's got
All right,
his last
so-
one to tie us.
Gotta
So
get
you
even
have
just
to
to tie
yeah,
us.
You gotta
Then
tie
what do
us
we
up.
do? We might have to. What are we gonna do if you guys all tie? We'll figure it out.
Chloe's serving a lot of drinks.
Drink
And pull.
Nice.
But Sarah kind of came. Well, Sarah and Mike came out of nowhere.
I'm watching you, Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah and Mike came out of nowhere.
Nice.
Ooh.
Perfect.
Oh.
Nice.
Good shooting. Dad.
Perfect. All right.
Woo!
Pull.
Oh, you love your tide.
Me and Laura. Oh God, love you, Laura.
Pull.
Nice.
Pull. No.
Ginger's are not having it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Mike
Mike's the
did,
ginger.
yeah, Mike is
so-
really, and so Mike is like by trade a professor. So turns out professors of psychology rarely have use for a shotgun unless things go horribly wrong. I would hope that's not part of therapy. Like I'm gonna talk about your mother. Like, so, but both him and Sarah were way behind at the beginning, and they're both super smart and fast learners, so they're catching up really quickly by the end. I think.
What do you mean by that?
No, it's not.
What do you mean by that?
Well, one of the things I love about you is if we ever got a shotgun and you got mad at me, I don't have to worry because you're not going to hit me.
Michael!
God! It would be like I could stand there and be like, shoot at me. Like if you aimed at me, you're not going to hit me.
Stand by.
Take you off.
Woo! Okay. Just over top. Okay?
Okay.
Try it one more time.
I never would have where I shot relative.
You were beautiful. No, you did a good job. You did a good job. Yeah, you would blast. You would
Yeah,
always
it's
blast
true.
exactly where the thing was instead of where it's going to be.
I was trying so hard, guys.
No, you.
It was. No, he's being truthful. I couldn't hit him. It was very frustrating.
You started getting it, like you could see it, you're picking it up. So after getting back from shooting, Then we went out to a very fancy steakhouse there, Lewin's. It is, I don't know how to pronunciate it.
Lewin?
Lewin, something apostrophe S. Look it up. You'll find it. Lewin's. It's famous there. It's incredibly good. It's one of those like family style things where you get your own cut of meat and maybe you kind of family style, whatever you want. Think of a really fancy, nice Ruth's Chris that's not a chain. So
it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a really
so
good
clearly
time.
you're not drinking before you're doing shotguns. You do shotguns and then you can go out, have a martini, a steak, and then share sides.
Red wine.
Yeah, red wine, share
Do
sides.
it up. Dessert.
You'll get progressively less sober until you get the bill, and then you'll be extremely sober. Like, what happened? How is there a comma involved in this? Oh. It wasn't. It wasn't. Yeah. No,
Maybe.
there wasn't a comma with the fact of this, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Depends on the party size.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Yep.
It's a good place.
Yeah, a good place
we
to go.
Really,
We'll link
really
it.
recommend. It's very
Down below.
Very good spot.
Yeah. And then other days we just did the day before when we went out, we just did this funny sailor hat ascot pipe costume and ran around Annapolis and hit random bars.
We totally dressed up, and everyone loved it. I think it was hilarious because so all of us had these. I gave Michael my captain's hat, and
She was very kind.
I'm very kind. Yeah.
It's about time as we sit these to cook some crab. We're just gonna do 2 Dungeness crab, or maybe 2 if we can fit it in there. We'll see. So we'll walk you through the steps of cooking some live Dungeness crab.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Light a fire. Step 1. A cup of water. Step 2. A cup of flavored water. Can also call Bud Light. It's good. Twist it off. I like something like a really kind of light beer. Yeah, it adds a little bit of flavor to the whole thing, but you don't want to do like an IPA or something really heavy that's going to spice it too much. And then vinegar kind of brightens up everything. I'm going to do about a half cup of apple vinegar in there as well. Start that to steam, and then we're going to layer Old Bay over everything. So right now I'm just going to put a bunch of Old Bay in the bottom so it'll steam up kind of nice. And then at every layer, well, the one little kind of 2 layers that we do, we're just going to throw a bunch of Old Bay on top. We'll wait for this guy to boil, and then we'll throw the crabs right from the cooler into the pot. So our brew is boiling. Now we just put a steamer basket down in there. Set it down, and then we're going to throw some crabs in there. So we want this steaming immediately, so they meet their crab maker as quickly as possible. All right. Got them in there. Now we're going to throw some Old Bay on top and some corn cobs. First the Old Bay. Lots and lots of that, more than you think. Then corn cobs. And then more Old Bay. And then we'll shut her up, see what happens. The most integral part of any crab in cornmeal is clearly the butter. So we got some butter boiling. We got a flame going under a small saucepan. I'm gonna throw an entire stick of butter in there. It's gonna reduce down. To being clarified, we're gonna use more later. We're not gonna use it all for dipping that much. But crab by its nature doesn't have any fat in it, so it's just, and we're gonna do some ghee because it's already clarified butter. So that'll add nicely to the flavor. You can flavor this if you want with any spices, but we're just gonna do it clear butter. And once this kind of clarifies, you're gonna get a bunch of milk solids at the top. You pull those off. You're gonna get water at the bottom. You want the stuff in the middle. I'm gonna show you that in a second. All right. Crabs and corn, well and thoroughly cooked, and it smells of Old Bay. Yeah, lost his claw. All right. And then we're gonna bring that off.
So what Michael's doing right now is he's taking the butter that we heated up on the stove and he's just slightly adding it into a different cup so that we've pulled off of all of the
Milk solids? Like
The milk solids.
and foam.
because I know what I'm talking about. The milk solids. But and then just kind of topping it off with that last little bit to make sure we don't have any milk solids in our now
Clarified or
Clarified.
drawn butter.
butter.
So now we got 2 steaming hot crabs, 2 ears of corn. I think we're gonna dig in.
Okay, but how do we do that?
Well, I'll show you how to do each crab if you wanna learn how to do crab. So I'm gonna do this big fella here. You flip him over, and it is a fella because it's a narrow apron right here. What you're gonna wanna do, flip that up and crack it back. That'll open up a place where you can basically remove the shell. You could hold right there. And it's hot as sin right now, so yeah. So you see I pulled off the whole body plate of it. And underneath, you can focus on here. You get these feathery things. These are gills, not good eating. People debate whether they like the mustard. It's the like internal organs here. Either way, you're gonna snap off the gills are 100% not good eating. No one debates that. No one wants the gills. It's kind of hard to do when it's super hot. But you're gonna rip off the gills. You're gonna, if you like this mustard, you can do it. If not, get it away. Gills, and then you're gonna rip off basically the face, what was the face. So all that stuff goes away. There's no good eating there. And then, what you're gonna do really, you can rip off the face too if you want. So all that comes off pretty easily. So get the remainder of the gills. And then what you can do is, I'll clean it later, but you can chop it in half. And this is kind of how you serve it. You get a real nice legs and body, and everyone can crack into the body and into the legs to get all their meat, and the really good meat is here. Claw. So that's how you get that going.
Okay, you guys, look at this. Good job, sir.
That's right.
So let's do a little cheers and then taste. Shall we?
Yeah. Yes.
Cheers. Alright. What are you thinking?
The body meat you can just reach in and grab a tiny little piece,
You
dip it
think
in the
that,
butter.
or-
Yeah.
Oh man.
You rip off a whole claw. We'll do that later, but that's where the good stuff is. That butter's great.
They're
die
such
for.
good boys. They did
Yeah.
good. They did good.
You can snap off a whole leg, and then we'll crack into these later. You can kind of use your hands really much. Yeah. We'll do some cracking, some ripping, and some dunking. And these little feet, they're great for if you snap that off to pick out more meat. If you don't have the crab utensils.
You know what? I never thought of that before.
Yeah, you can
I
reach
didn't
in right
use
there.
that before.
Yep. Clean it up. So we're gonna do some corn, we'll do some
I gotta-
crab
I
mitts
gotta
and dunking.
taste
And that's the thing is,
What?
Yeah, that's a good piece of meat right there.
Mm.
Dump that guy, and it's about slow eating. You take your time. You have a pitcher of beer on the table. You crack these. You take an hour to eat.
Mm. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So good. So good. The butter and the flavor of the crab is delicious. Okay, I did get all of that meat. I just wanted
You
to
don't
make
waste
sure.
any meat.
No. That was so good. This is. Oh.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my. Oh,
A
Lord.
little butter down. Yep.
Yeah. Oh.
Top notches. That's it.
Look at this. Thank you. Thank you, little crabbies. Look at this meat.
If you're having difficulty with the legs, no kidding, you can use a rolling pin to roll up from the bottom. And all right, I think we're gonna go sit down and have some crab cracking good time.
Okay, guys. So this is it, and go visit Annapolis when you get the time and it's safe to do so, and during this pandemic time. But again, we really appreciate you guys watching, and cheers, or
Well, I'd say shove off. Liberty call for us.
oh, there we
Yeah.
go.
Ladies and gentlemen.
'Tis a blustery day out. The sea is angry today. I wouldn't know. I'm not near the sea, so that's weird.